What was your vision of the animation like? That's one of the things everybody's going on about is how incredible the animation is. So did you know that going into this, like that's what you wanted to do, or was this a process like figuring out like that's what we're gonna do?
Both of those things are true. We wanted...
Yeah, it's really easy to say we want it to look like nothing's ever looked before. It's
Like,
a lot harder to
like
do.
a lot of feel like it actually feels like you walked into a comic book, and it's easier to say, but to actually accomplish it was super, super hard. It took years to figure out a process where we could match CG animation with hand-drawn 2D animation and all of these like comic book textures and effects, and have it all feel like it was one painting, each frame looking like a painting. It was 4 times as hard as making a CG animated movie. It takes a week for an animator to make 1 second of footage on this, whereas normally it's like 4 or more seconds in a week. So it's a really hard process, but we felt like it was worth it.
Well, for how much effort you guys put into it when crafting the story, was there any concern that the audience would kind of experience Spider-Man burnout with all the live action films we've had the last decade?
I mean, if you're worried about that, you're in trouble on this picture. I mean, I think that we wanted just to shake it up as much as we possibly could. You know, I think that's why the movie starts with, you know this story, you've heard it a bunch of times, this is how it goes. And immediately we tried to subvert it by bringing you into Miles' bedroom and seeing what he's like when no one else is watching, and basically say like, I'm the one and only Spider-Man, and cut to Miles and show that, like, put the lie to that immediately, right?
Right.
Yeah, and you have an obligation to give an audience something new and they haven't experienced before. So we were trying to make sure that every aspect of this movie was different and groundbreaking in some sort of way.
So this was the first movie that Stan Lee has had a cameo in a Spider-Man movie since his passing. Obviously, it's pretty bittersweet, but you guys didn't know that at the time when you recorded it. So being able to look back on it now, how does that kind of make you guys feel?
Well, what's nice is that we always wanted it to be a tribute to his life's work, and acknowledge that this guy is the godparent of this character. And we knew it had to be more significant than just like, hey, I'm a cop or something. Like, it needed to be, you know, significant in Miles' life that this guy in the shop gave him this costume and said, you know, it always fits eventually.
Right, and so that, you know, it was an emotional and inspirational scene, and it always played really warm and fun and funny, but also had real significance to the story. And now, obviously, with his passing, it's become even more poignant and emotional in a way, and it's hard to watch without tearing up a little bit. One
of the things I loved about the movie was how obscure some of the Spider-Man villains were, like Tombstone and the Prowler. So who are some more obscure Spider-Man villains that you guys would like to see in a sequel?
That is, I don't know how obscure he is, but we're big Rhino fans.
Just because he's so ridiculous.
Even after Paul Giamatti and the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
I would say, you know, you've never had Chameleon on screen yet.
Or have they?
Or exactly, we don't know. Maybe they
have. He might be masquerading as Tombstone.
We don't know. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's that's such a neat thing.
There's so many to choose from.
I'm dying to see Kraven. Yes. I don't know if that's obscure, but I do think there's something neat about all these villains, that they represent fears that you have when you're a kid. It's always like your favorite teacher who might be kind of mean to you turns out to be like a super villain.
Your girlfriend's dad.
Right, your girlfriend's dad. Right, it's always...
I'm so afraid of that guy.
Yeah, it's just like heightening of things that we all kind of like worry about.